It's paradise inside of our hearts, and it feels so nice to pray in the dark. Beings of light, see who you are. 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 See who you are.
Thank you for joining me. Your host is Dominique Rivera, the Oracle of Apollo. Super excited to be here today on Divine Encounters. We are live. It has been a minute, literally a minute. And I actually am live streaming on the side here to TikTok. So hello, shout out to TikTok land, something that we never do, but we're here. You guys know I have been moving, I have been packing, I have been doing all the many things. And recently I've actually sold my house. It closed on Friday. Big transition. And I'm super excited to share that with you guys today. And I really want to talk to you guys about the last 12 months. We have gone on a roller coaster journey these last 12 months. And I'm super excited to share with you how I have been inspired by the divine, the difficulties, the challenges, the persevering. And if you feel like you have a supernatural story time that you want to share here on Divine Encounters, please email me at divineencounters@e360tv.com. If you have a story, I want to know about it. So please do not hesitate to share your stories with me. This is why we are here. If this is your first time watching, thank you. Welcome. I usually have a much better setup, but this is what we have for right now. We're going to be doing a card of the day, which actually I have a deck of cards that are not mine because mine are actually packed away. A card of the day, and we're going to bring a message. We're going to have a shifting energetic experience that we're going to do as a collective. Then we're going to have our supernatural story time, followed by a full reading for the collective here that is watching. So thank you. And if this is your first time watching, please shout it out in the comment section below. Share this message of hope and inspiration with other people, because there might just be someone out there who needs to hear the message that is going to be coming through these airwaves today. For us to receive blessings, we must also be a blessing for others. And it's something just as simple as just sharing a feed. I like to start off every single episode with what is called the good news. And basically, the good news is the card of the day, right? So I want to share that with you guys. And hold on one second here. We're going to pull a brand new card because these are the cards that are not mine. And I'm going to read you what is happening there with this particular card. All right. So let's go ahead here and pull you guys a card. So to that I say, what's good? All right, so the good news for today is going to be the 9 of thought. That is the good news for today. We're going to go ahead here and see what this message is. Let me pull it up. 9 of thought. It's interesting because anytime I know that a message is for me, the card that I pull almost immediately reflects in the book. Hey, Evie, thanks for being here. It almost immediately reflects in the book. And as soon as I open it, I got the 10 of thought. So I only had to move one page back to the 9 of thought. And I'm just going to show you guys the card right here. The 9 of thought says, stop being so hard on yourself and turn your thoughts toward the positive. There's no need to worry. Anticipating the worst isn't helpful, and know that heaven will provide a solution. If you're experiencing sleepless nights, I'm not calling anybody out though, but if you're experiencing sleepless nights or anxiety over a challenge in your life, release the problem to the angels. Okay. Release the problem to the angels is the card that I'm getting here for you. Okay. And then let's see what the extended message is on this. Okay. There's no reason to worry. Your focus on your fears and feelings of uncertainty is misleading you into experiencing the worst. It's time to change your thoughts into something more positive and uplifting. Anticipate only your highest hopes and dreams, and the divine law of attraction will bring them to you. Please don't be so hard on yourself. Nothing is gained by reliving the past over and over. Release what was and instead reach out with loving arms to what is and what can be. Sleepless nights, the need for optimism, torturing yourself needlessly, useless guilt, and taking on more than is necessary. And some of you are saying here that you're not sleeping. So that is the good news for today. Essentially, what I want to say about the sleepless nights is when you're in a space where you're just over processing, over worrying, trying to figure out everything in one day, it's like trying to do all of the groceries at once and trying to bring all the bags in at once with one hand. Okay. It's okay to have to go back and revisit in smaller chunks of time and not trying to process everything at the same exact time. It does not serve you. Okay. It does not serve you. So be mindful of how much energy you're expending on worry, because worry consumes your energetic field. It creates holes in your aura. Worry creates dissatisfaction and suffering in life. And honestly, there is just no space and no need for that. If you cannot take an actionable step in the moment of your worry, then what is the purpose of the worry? How is that serving you? So, this is something that we have to recognize here. All right. So, be very cognizant of that. Wonderful. So, if there's anything you feel like is highlighted for you there, excuse me. If you feel like there's anything highlighted for you there, go ahead now and just put that in the comment section below. I would love to know what's standing out for you as far as these things go. And also, make sure you have your high quality H2O with you to your health, wealth, and prosperity. I just came from somewhere. I'm not showing the logo, but yeah. We're doing lemonade today, if you're wondering. All right, we're going to go ahead and shift our energy. And I'm going to teach you a very simple technique on how to shift your energy in under a minute. So this is your first time here, you can just go ahead and have a seat. Make sure that your spine is directly up and down. And what we're going to do is that we're going to breathe together for an entire whopping 1 minute. So you're going to hear a bell, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into the experience. But first, where are you at energetically in this moment in time? Energetically, I mean, where are you at? 1 being, this is the least amount of energy I can have. 10, this is the most amount of energy I can have. And put that in the comment section below. Where are you energetically right now? Let me know. And if you have a feeling word for that, I would also like to know what your feeling word is. Go ahead. Okay. What is your number? My number right now, I'm going to say I'm at a 7.8 as far as my number goes right now. However, I am feeling slightly tired. I've been running around all week trying to find a new car because I really can't get to clients without a car. And if you guys know my story, I had a very bad car accident in December. My car got totaled. So what happened was the rear passenger wheel rusted off of my car, and I have had my car. Linuo is at a 3. That's very low, and we're gonna help you shift that. Okay, so just pay attention for a moment. So the tire actually came off the car because it rusted off. Mind you, my car was 20 years old. I bought it brand new, and I careened across 2 lanes across the expressway, and then I hit a wall at 65 miles per hour. I had a concussion for a few weeks, and I was in quite a bit of pain, but I'm better now. All right, so now that we know what our number is, if you have a feeling word, I said I'm tired, and that's very honest. I can be at a 7 point whatever and still be tired in my body. So let me know if you have a feeling word right now. And what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna put 60 seconds on the clock. And then I'm going to invite you now to just close your eyes. You're going to hear a bell and you're going to close your eyes, and I'm going to walk you through 60 seconds. Okay, here we go. All right, everybody's eyes are closed now. I'm putting 60 seconds on the clock on Divine Encounters. Thank you for your well wishes. Eyes closed, breath in. And we're just going to let go of worry. We might not know how much worry we have, but we're going to just notice our body. Notice any tension, any stress, anything that's calling your focus in this moment. And breathe into that. We're inviting all worry from any point in time, all multidimensional planes of existence, to rise up to be released with the permission, which is the exhale. Breathing in deeply. Big belly breath here, letting it go. Beautiful. Big belly breath again. Just letting that go. Wonderful. And just take a moment here and express some gratitude for yourself. Thank yourself for arriving, for being here, for enduring, for participating in the human experience. And I honor you all. Namaste. And now I'm inviting you all to open your eyes gently and come back into the here and the now. And now let me know what your number is. We breathe for 60 seconds. And the reason that we're doing this is to show you that you're capable of regaining control of your emotions in the day. Stress happens, we get it. Painful things happen to us. However, with just a tweak and a calibration of the breath, we can then take back some of our power, some of our stress, and get back to a higher number energetically. So I will tell you my number, and then I'll tell you my word, and then let me know what your number and your word is in that comment section below. I feel like I want to say I'm at an 8.5 in my energy field, and I want to say I'm actually more grounded. So I actually feel like an 8.5. I know I have more in myself, but I'm also like a 6 at the same time. So it's like, hi Ruben. So it's like I have more energy or more space or capacity, but then I'm also much more grounded in the same token. And some things that I felt during those 60 seconds, and please share with me what you felt in your 60 seconds. What I felt was I felt spinning above my head. I felt energy open in my third eye. And I feel myself clearing right now. And I feel very, very relaxed after those 60 seconds. So that's where I am at. And let me know in that comment section below if your number changed, if you felt anything hot, cold, tension, tingling, pressure, pain, anything like that. Doesn't matter what it is, colors, memories. There is no wrong answer. Just let me know in the comment section below. I would love to know. And if this is your first time here, thank you for joining me on Divine Encounters. I am live streaming every single Wednesday night here on E360 TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire, and basically everywhere and anywhere that you're watching this right now. Linao says she's up to a 5. And I got instant ear ringing and energy at my crown. So the ear ringing is basically opening of being able to receive information. And that's good. That's going to definitely help you bring in some more intuitive energy there. So good job for you for taking that time to make that space. And every Wednesday night, we do a supernatural story time. I usually have a guest on every Wednesday night. However, this time for season 4, I wanted to share with you guys my last 12 months of experiencing. My last 12 months of experiencing, because there's just a lot to share. So we're going to jump into this 1-minute commercial break, and then we're going to come right back.
Takes a village about keeping our families together.
God bless this organization.
Welcome back. I'm your hostess, Dominique Rivera, the Oracle of Apollo, live streaming every Wednesday night with another supernatural story time. And you guys are used to me having already a guest for this show every Wednesday night. However, so much has happened in my world. I wanted to talk to you guys one by one, single chica to human, human to chica, and that is where we are today. So thank you everybody for being here. If you've never heard of me, I am an integrated energy therapy master instructor. So I help people release trauma from the body, issues from the tissues, from the somatic physical body. I also teach this. I am a Reiki master teacher. So I teach people how to work with energy, their energy bodies, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, as well as I help you learn where your blocks are and clear the body with you. I'm a spiritual coach. So you can book me for on a month-to-month basis, and we can work on the things that you need to remove from your inner world, so that way your outer world is reflecting a more truer version of yourself. I'm a psychic medium. So with that, I am able to see past, present, and future. I also communicate with spirit guides, totem animals, godheads, saints. And also, I am a trance medium, which means most people haven't heard of trance medium. We just associate as medium as being a psychic medium. Psychic just meaning perceiving information that is not of spirit. That basically means you're buying a new car and the psychic medium will pick up on that. The things that are earthly is what psychics pick up on. Spiritual mediums, which are the medium that speaks to spirit, they're the ones that communicate with your crossed over loved ones, but you can be a psychic and a spiritual medium. But just because you're psychic, it does not mean that you're a medium. But you do have to be a psychic to be a medium, if that makes any sense at all. As a trance medium works with different entities. And by that, and some people think that entity is a bad word. but it isn't. It's just kind of like an umbrella term for every being, right? So you guys can't see this right here. Oh yeah, TikTok can see it too. Actually, maybe I can pull one off. Okay. Oh, and let me pull it off. So these are different beings of love and light that I actually worked with. And trance means I can go into a trance state, open myself to such a degree as a trance medium that allows the being or entity to enter into my physical corporeal body. And with that, they can communicate through me. They can see through my eyes, which is really freaky. It's happened to me a few times. They can do surgeries, psychic surgeries on their part. So that is basically when I'm doing a healing and I allow an entity to enter my body for the purpose of healing the person that is on my table. An example of this is there was a man that, let me put this back. There was a man that came into my center one time and he had a pain in his side for 9 years. He was suffering. And one of my students actually brought him into my center. And what wound up happening was, he was basically in tears by the time that he actually got there. And he was begging for help. And I told him, I said, it's not me that actually cures, it's the divine beings of love and light, but we ourselves have to be able to surrender into the experience enough that they can then have permission to come through. The medium is just a door. That's all. Your permission, your allowing, your vulnerability allows everything else to take place. So this was very early on when I started doing this professionally. I've been doing this professionally since 2014. And I remember he took my hands and placed them into his abdomen, but it was like he was trying to put my hand through him. He pressed so hard into my fingers that my fingers actually hurt. My finger actually hurt while I was pressed into him. I could feel his organs on my physical hand. And I said, calm down, breathe. And I breathed with him. I was breathing with him. And I remember a smell coming out. The smell was like putrid, like when you leave milk out too long. It was like that kind of smell. And so I pulled it out. And as I pulled it out, he made like, my body's remembering the experience, and I just felt the nausea of what happened. Pulling it out, and I remember this gross nausea in my stomach that was like sour and like when you go on a roller coaster too much. And he gasped. Like as I pulled it out, I remember he just went like, like, okay, maybe that's a groan. He groaned as I pulled it out of his stomach. And I say I, but I mean them through me. And I remember after that, my student had messaged me about 2 weeks later on his behalf. And she tells me that this is the first time in 9 years that he no longer had that pain. And a year later, I remember a year passing and him coming back to her, not to me. I never saw him again after that, but him coming back to her and telling her that he was moving to another country or something like that, and to thank me again because the pain had never returned. So it's interesting how when this happens, I can give like, at this point, hundreds and hundreds of stories of the entities working through me. But I want this supernatural story time to be about the last 12 months that I've had and how I've had to push through a lot of what some people would say is really bad things that happen, or what some people might think is bad luck, or but really it's just what was needed. It is just what was needed. So about 2 years ago, I had my spirit guides who tell me everything that is going to come in that's big. They share with me everything big that's about to happen. And this was no different. 2 years ago, they said, you are going to have to leave your partner. You're going to have to separate from your partner. Now, mind you, I was totally with my partner for 12 years. It was really 11 years, but we were like shy of that 12. And so a few years ago, I told my partner, I was in the shower and I came out crying. I was bawling. And I'm like, we're going to break up. We're going to break up because I was told we have to break up. No, 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 we're not going to break up. Okay. Now, rewind even further back. 5. Hi. Hi, hi. Now, rewind further back years before that. And I remember being at the center and my students, all my students, each and every one of them that learned how to channel, gave me the same message over several years. And they all said, you and your partner will not be together because where you go, he won't be able to go. That was literally the message that I got repeatedly. Where you go, he won't be able to go. So I said, okay, that sounds very vague, but also interesting. So fast forward now to the now time. And now time's ticking down, time's ticking down, time's ticking down. And I'm not listening. I'm not listening. Yeah, I do remember that. I remember when people give me messages that are for me, especially when they are really big life altering messages or path altering situations. Even when I closed my center, I knew that I would be closing a year before I was closing, even though there was no reason for my center to close. My spirit guides informing me, you're closing your center next year. I started to tell all my students and clients we were closing. Everyone wondered, well, why? And I said, well, because spirit said we are. And when my lease was up, what actually happened was COVID hit and the whole city closed down. And it was the same week as the ending of my lease. And so we closed my center down. So I trust this very much, right? So now I'm not leaving my partner. I'm refusing. I'm making all the excuses, the justifications, XYZ, XYZ. I'm getting people texting me randomly, and I really mean randomly. I remember I was in Italy, and I had made a phone call while I was, oh no, I'm freezing. While I was in the airport, or my friend called me while I was in the airport in Italy and said, hey, you need to let go of your partnership. Spirit just came to me and you need to let go of your partnership. Now, imagine being in a position where your spirit guides are saying, hey, we're telling you, you have outgrown this. It has outserved you. You have learned the lesson. You need to move on. This is only holding you back. And your humanity says, well, your humanity says, I attach. Your humanity says, I don't want to. This is comfort. This is familiar, right? So time goes on. Time goes on. I'm refusing to do what I'm being asked. Now, mind you, I'm very diligent in what I'm asked. I have been to so many places and done some crazy things. I've jumped into cars with strangers. I've traveled across multiple states with random people I just met. I've gone to places across the country, isolated, because I'm told. So, this is not new to me. But I always did it. Always did it, no matter what it was, no matter how hard it sounded, no matter how difficult, no matter how challenging, I always did it, except this thing, which is to break my partnership because I was comfortable. So we fast forward, and now, if you guys didn't see, there's so many stories attached to this one singular story. If you guys didn't see to the episode Meeting the Astro Boy and Awa, you guys have to go back and watch those 2 episodes. That is because that is attached to this story very closely. That is when a boy was astral projecting into my house, telling me to come visit Texas, whom I did not know, whom I wound up meeting his father, who I saw his prayers on Christmas Eve and told him everything about what he was doing Christmas Eve because he was calling for me. Well, upon meeting the little boy after like a year, I met him in Texas. He was 3.5 years old. And he looks at me in front of his dad and he says, I remember you. And I said, Caleb, how do you remember me? And he says, mind you, this is a little 3.5-year-old boy, just meeting him. I was in your house. His dad turned around. He was in the front seat. He turned around and he was like, what? What? But there's a whole depth to that story. Now, mind you, I was being asked to go meet this person for this child and to go learn production. And so this is what I did. I wound up going to Texas last March to learn production with this person and then spent all last year working and learning production. Now, during this segment of last year, I also did the Power Week. I was in Chicago, in South Carolina. I was in Colorado. I don't know. I was in like eight states last year. I was gone for a good chunk of the year. Before I had left, I was very well aware that Spirit had told me, because you have not listened to us, because you have chose to not separate from your partnership, you need to understand that at this point, you will be missing a large opportunity lest you break your own heart. So now, this is what I'm being told. You have to break your own heart because we already gave you the clues. We already gave you the situations that in your mind you justified and persevered through. However, this is not what we're asking of you. We're not asking you to forgive and move forward. We're asking you to forgive and surrender. And know that, this is them speaking, know that upon your leaving, that you will be, that your partner will be unfaithful to you. And upon leaving, you must know that you will decimate your heart. So very knowledgeably, made very, very, very well aware of what would exactly happen. I asked Spirit, okay, so when this happens, this is the sign that I want. And I asked for my partner to purge verbally, like vomit, on the day that this happened. So I know that it is complete and the cycle has begun or ended and begun. So fast forward, some time happens. I get a text message. Oh, just random text message in the day. Just random. I threw up today in the parking lot. When I saw this, I knew instantly what it meant because this was the exact sign that I had asked for. This was the exact clue I had told them to give me. And I replied with the words no, because I knew what it was and I never got a reply after that. Knowing this information and moving through the rest of the year last year, I remember going through all the stages of grieving. And as I was grieving, I would close my eyes and I could feel and see the angels holding me. And as I'm saying that, I'm getting all this energy coming up right now. They would hold me. And it was like, even though I was in a tent in the middle of the mountains, all alone, I was never alone. I was being supported through a very arduous time of my life. And I remember that even in this knowing, I tried to fight it, as I did, because I would justify it with the idea of I can just love more, right? I can just love myself through this. And this is called spiritual bypassing when someone does this. Okay. It should never be at the expense of you. We can love, we can be kind, we can forgive, but it should never be at the expense of you. And so I was walking through the middle of the night and the moon was a super moon. And I remember looking at this huge, massive moon. And in the moment, I blinked and I saw myself drop to my knees. And when I saw that, it was like the visual representation of surrender to this experience. So at that moment, I did physically drop to my knees. I dropped and I cried and I said, please make me strong enough and that everything is so clear when I get back that it's just so easy to walk away. It's easy to walk away. So now, mind you, as a psychic medium, I always know these big things are going to happen before they happen. I get home, I do a Reiki session on my person, on my ex person, and what happens? I see her inside of him. I see her color hair. I see her eyes. I see her. And I described her. And I was blindsided by this. So I confronted him. And he refused to tell me what was actually happening. And it took a month of confronting and fighting and fighting and fighting. Because even though I knew it, because my instincts have never been wrong, I needed the physicalness of it. I needed the earth shattering epiphany clarity from it. I needed to finish the job of the wounded animal, to break the heart. So then I got the confirmation, or I got after a big month of fighting, then I got the, I don't want to say confession, but I got some yeses finally. So with that being said, this person never was affected by anything that didn't directly affect them, as narcissists do. And this person has so much trauma that they carried into this relationship that they couldn't empathize. So it was just like, as I got healed, as I got more emotionally intelligent, as I grew stronger, this person berated and tried to put you down and will gaslight and try to suppress. And I never took this as this is a bad person. I took this as this is spiritual warfare. This is spiritual warfare attempting to stop me from the purpose that I've been given here in this physical plane to accomplish in this lifetime. In my complacency and in my comfort, I was refusing to see that there was something bigger and greater on the horizon, something more in alignment, and that I could not accomplish what I was set here to do with someone that needed so much control over my autonomy. So I never looked at it, and I never look at it as the person is bad. We see people develop and turn into what their traumas are, and their willingness to view and heal through that trauma. All right. So all I asked for in this space, even though I was aching and in pain, and I went through everything anybody who has received betrayal goes through: rage, sorrow, depression, inability to accept. And as I went through all of these cycles to ultimately acceptance, I didn't ask for strength, because I knew at this point, when we ask for strength, what we're truly asking the universe, when we say, please give me strength, we're asking to prove to ourselves that we're strong. And I didn't need to prove to myself I was strong. I just spent half the years in the mountain. The first year I've been able-bodied in 10 years, eating from a forest and taking care of a dying dog during monsoon season. Okay. I didn't need more proof of how strong I was. What I needed was to not turn into a bitter, hateful, resentful, angry person and change out of my kind character of love. So what I asked for was grace. I asked for grace all the time so that I could move through this as gracefully as possible, with much love for myself as possible. And I'm not saying that this was easy. by no stretch of the imagination. I have moved 6 times in the last 6 months. I have moved. And now I'm in my mom's house. So ultimately, I felt that my home was no longer my home. It has served all its purposes in housing me for the last 17 years. And I chose to surrender that home so that someone else could then find what I found in the beginning of being there, which was potential, curiosity, excitement for life. So I was able to give that to someone else. And the day that she bought my house, she came in and I was very upset that I'm selling my house, very attached to my home. And she came in and she squealed. She actually made a squeal when she walked in. And I looked at her and I said, that's the happiness of a beginning. So that made me happy. You're the one person I met in my life that's left the biggest impression upon me in a way I cannot place into words. Oh, I love you. Thank you for that. So when I sold my house, I was melancholy. I went and I got my check. Closing went fine. Everything went fine. And there's something I want to share with you guys. So when I closed, I actually got in the car to say goodbye to my house of 17 years. And before I said goodbye to the physical house, I called back all my power. So if you're closing anything that you've ever lived in or worked in for a long period of time, you call back all your power. You thank the guardians of the land. You thank the spirits of the land. And you just take a moment and you breathe it all back in. Now, I did this with my business. And what happened at that time, it was like the matrix numbers came down the walls and went into my body. For this particular experience, what happened was like a pixelated barrier came underneath my feet and I couldn't take in any energy from my home. There was nothing left for me. It was like a stopper. There was nothing there for me to take. I walked out of my house towards the car, and I have a picture I'm about to show you. I walked out of my house and towards my car, and it was a gloomy, gloomy day. I felt like it was just reflecting all my feelings. And as I got in, the sun came out. The sun came out for a few moments right directly over my house. The sun was right on top of my house. And then I went to turn. I'm like, I want to take a picture of the sun. And before I had a chance to open the camera on the phone opens itself and snaps a photo. It snaps its own photo. So here's a picture for all of those of you who are actually watching the TV show. Let's see. I would have to crop it. So it's actually too big to show. But if you go on my TikTok, you'll see in my last story, it's called I Captured an Orb. And what you're seeing is the sun is exactly above my house, the greenhouse, and right in front of, or if you're on my Facebook, if you don't have my Facebook, you can follow my Facebook at the Oracle of Apollo, Divine Encounters E360 TV, or my personal page, Dominique Rivera, but it's public. Either way, all of those have it on there. And I think it's also on my Instagram, the Oracle of Apollo. And in the front of my stoop, what you can actually see in the front of my stoop is a giant green orb radiating light. Like it's obvious. It's not like a little thing. It's a very obvious bright green orb radiating light. Okay. So if you want to go check that out, go check out that picture. It's amazing. But it was definitely a confirmation or validation that I'm not by myself, no matter how difficult this has been on me, no matter how many tears or sleepless nights I've had, no matter how displaced I felt or how lost or muddy I was feeling. I saw the picture and it's absolutely breathtaking. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. And I'm sharing this story to let you all know that I'm starting a chapter again in my life. And I've had this TV show for 4 seasons now. So you guys, we're like best friends at this point, Seekers. And to let you guys know that it's okay to begin again. It's okay to let things crumble and fall away and cry and be angry and be rageful, but honor it all. We're too quick to try to get back to the happiness that we don't honor the grief. Grief is the contrast of life that makes us appreciate when we are in spaces of true joy, when we are in spaces of love, when we are in spaces of appreciation and gratitude. And that change is an inevitable aspect of being alive, of breathing, of moving forward. And these are the many, many, many blessings that we have. And I hope that this story shows you that if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm coming from a place of not being able bodied. I'm just stepping into my second year now of being able bodied and breaking 17 years of a home, 12 years of a partnership, starting working all over again, not knowing what the next steps are, and that's okay. Just going to focus on what brings me joy today, in this moment, and right now. That's being here with all of you. So thank you so much for holding space for me while I share this story. I want to just give a real quick shout out to the Power of We Romania. I'm going to show you this little image real quick. I'm actually going to Romania May 4th through 12th. We're going to be working with disenfranchised youths and children who haven't had parents in hospitals. And we're going to be bringing celebrities and influencers and motivational speakers to these places. This is all coming out of our pockets. So if there's anything that you want to donate, I'm going to show a sponsorship QE code here now. But if you want to donate specifically to me being able to get there, you guys can go ahead and find me at Howl, HOWL, Awareness Center. Or you can Instagram me if you really want to, if you believe in this mission that I'm hoping. But here is the QE code for you guys at home. So as we share the stories of these children who have been forgotten, we're actually making a documentary about these children who have been forgotten. I'm going to share something with you guys. Last year at the Power of We, I know that this is going to be a story in the future I'm going to share with you that's going to blow your dang mind. I know something big is coming from this trip. I personally think we're going to make something so moving. It's going to bring an Oscar in. And if you don't have any idea of what I'm talking about, check out my episode, The Power of We, from season 3, Power of We, season 3. Because last year, when I was doing this event in Illinois, I saw us creating something beautiful that was going to bring an Oscar in. And it just so happened that Spirit aligned us with these two brothers who dropped the movie this weekend in theaters. I think it's called Abraham, or it's about Abraham. It's about Easter. And it came up to number 3 in the movies this weekend. And they only had a $250,000 budget. It beat Shazam, which was a multi-million-dollar movie. And they are going to film this documentary that me and 5 other people are embarking on to Romania to work with these forgotten children. And I saw it last year in a vision. I saw myself, I was eating lunch. Actually, I'm going to just give you a 2-minute quick story here. I was eating lunch and tears overflowed in my eyes and an overwhelming amount of gratitude came in and the restaurant disappeared and I was suddenly accepting an Oscar. And I didn't know why. And I said, what am I going to be a part of that's going to shift the planet so much that it's going to make an impact, a legacy? And here we are building the Legacy of Hope tour to work with these children. I'm just going to create, so my Cash App is How Awareness Center, and my PayPal is howlwellness@gmail.com. Anything helps because I'm paying out of pocket for me to go there. And you guys already know I don't really work. I just do gigs. This is what I do. All right, so we're going to jump into your weekly midweek collective energy check-in. So this is the horoscopes. This is your reading for the week. So go ahead and hang on tight. We're going to bring in a reading for everybody at home right now. All right, we're shuffling these cards so we can give you guys at home a reading. And thank you, everybody, especially TikTok people. This is the first time that I'm filming backstage for the TV show, and it's very interesting. I hope you guys check out the show on E360 TV, or basically anywhere where my bio's at. It will lead you there. You can also find me on Facebook at Divine Encounters E360 TV, and binge watch 4 seasons of Supernatural story times. All right, here we go. First card. The Two of Thoughts. Here we go, everybody. The Two of Thought. And if you're wondering what these cards are, they are the Guardian Angel Tarot cards. Okay, the Guardian Angel Tarot cards. This card says, every time I have angels, they always touch my nose. Your angels have noticed that you're not moving forward. You have multiple options you're reviewing. You seem unable to choose. Are they talking about my car? I've been to like 7 dealerships this week. Ask your angels for signs as what direction to take, or just listen to your own inner deep voice. Deep down, you know what to do. Trust your intuition, guys. That's what this card is saying at the beginning of this week. When you're presented with multiple options, we tend to ignore the ones that look hard or unbelievable or out of our reach, when ultimately, if we focus on what's going to bring us the most joy, it will be a simple answer. Ace of Abundance. I was going to say too, or you feel like you can't. When I said out of your reach, I was going to say something you feel like you can't afford. That's what I was going to say. Ace of Abundance. Big cherub angel. The cherub brings wonderful news. A windfall of resources come your way to help you with your plans. These resources may involve money, advice, or assistance in getting things done. This is a good time to start a new venture, career change, or go into business for yourself. There may be important contracts to sign. That was probably me selling my house. What is that for you guys at home? 3 of Thought. Loving angels surround you to heal and comfort you. The sadness you feel will fade away in time, and then you'll be able to see clearly how important this situation has been for your spiritual growth. This is so my whole story. Take the time that you need to forgive yourself and others so that you can embrace the future with joy. Last card, organization. Your plan. A little organization and discipline to your method. The key to success is to allow your creativity to gently be guided by logic. Be open to asking for help from someone very intellectual, or seek out a mentor. And last but not least, if you're looking at a love, 2 of emotion for love, a relationship grows closer as 2 people fall in love, or a current relationship grows much stronger. Friendships may deepen into a spiritual connection. Mutual respect and understanding exists or will develop. Don't give up on relationships that feel like challenging. There's still hope. I hope this serves you all. I will be back Sunday night with all of your horoscopes that we do every single week. A new shifting experience, the angel number for the week. And so I will see you guys next on Sunday. And then for next Wednesday, a new supernatural story time with a new guest. I'm so grateful for all of you. I hope you go forward and Allow curiosity to expand through you. Okay. So let's go ahead and let me wrap up the show with my final thoughts. Do you or someone you know experience something supernatural that has left a positive impact on yourself or the lives of others? Want to share your story on our show? Please email Divine Encounters at e360tv.com, and together, let's create divine experiences. And now, the Oracle's final thoughts con mucho amor. Don't think that you're not able, capable, valuable, enough to do what it is that you're here to do. Don't let the idea of lack, meaning this is the best person I can attract, this is the most money I can make, stop you from trying to achieve your highest potential. Keeping yourself in the familiar for too long, way beyond its expiration date, will only create suffering. Go forward and find that joy and encounter more. May you all go in love, light, and wisdom to know thyself, love thyself, and remember the divine always has your back. Ciao.
Everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
Thank you.